Ali McGill is speaking today from a customer experience service design approach, right? It's a lightning talk. And the discussions that we've had over the last year or so, 6 months especially, is that it really doesn't work on its own, right? Content marketing is part of maybe 3 or 4 things that bring it all together. Because if you're creating all this content and frankly you've got a shitty product that's delivered in a shitty way, then you're not helping anybody there. You're talking a good game, but you aren't actually delivering on that. And this is where content marketing and customer service design go hand in hand, really. They work together to deliver a great experience all round. The experience before, the experience during, and the experience after, right? And it all matters. It all matters. And that's why Ali's here today, to talk to us about this thing that he's massively passionate about. And I'm really looking forward to learning from you, Ali. Welcome.
How many of you have had this kind of experience dealing with a product or service in the past couple of months? Put your hands up. So pretty much the whole room. Happens a lot, doesn't it? Tell me some of the brands that have let you shout them out. BT. Whoa, let's go over here. BT. These guys come up every time. Give me another one. Thanks, Caroline. EE. We're going to talk about them a little bit today. One more? Yodel. Oh, God. Don't get me started with Yodel. Your parcel's in the blue bin. How does it make us feel when that stuff happens? Frustrated, pissed off, bit more swearing. What else? Fatigued. Does it make us want to do business with these brands again? No. They lose that trust. So if we're creating content, we're building brands, we're building up all this great identity and relationship, and then we let them down. We lose it all. This is Chloe. Chloe, put your hand up. Let everyone know where you are. Has everyone met Chloe? Yeah. If you haven't, go say hi. Chloe is just the loveliest person you'll ever meet. On Snapchat, she's all over Snapchat. She's C4 Compete. Got to add her on Snapchat. And Chloe is just the nicest person you meet. Butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. But this happened. Let's just have a look at that. So Chloe is, she lives on Twitter. Twitter is your favorite platform, yeah? Loves it. This happened. Is that your door? No. So for those that don't know, DPD are a delivery company. And you'd ordered a product from? EE. There we go, Stefan. They come up again. So they didn't deliver, and they took a picture of a random door. I don't know, they must just have these on their iPhones. Pick a number, tweet it. Or they put that through your door. I don't know how they do that.
No, they just send you this little message saying that you're not in, even though I'm looking at my window. You're not in. Here's proof. Here's a random
Here's proof you're not in. So I'd been out, and I came home, and I saw Chloe's tweet, so I just had a quick message back. And so at this point, DPD still haven't engaged in the conversation, and that was about 3 or 4 hours later. In fact, 11 hours, look, 11 hours later. DPD still haven't decided to talk to Chloe. What did they do?
First off, before this even happened, they changed the time, 4 times in that day. I had rearranged my entire day around this. They were like, Bob will be there in 15 minutes. Okay, waiting for Bob, and then this whole thing happened. They didn't do anything, and I couldn't contact them in any way at all. Zero contact. Yeah. No way of getting in touch. Then 3 or 4 days later, they followed me. Yeah. And then they still ignored me.
So they followed you, but still didn't DM or say, hey, Chloe.
I would rather have my iPad.
I had a look on their Twitter feed yesterday. In fact, I had a look on it a couple of days after this happened. And at that point, what they were doing was retweeting loads of good stuff that people were saying about them and ignoring this. When you look at the Twitter feed now, it's just literally a feed of complaints, dealing with complaints, saying, I'm sorry, can you send us more details? I'm sorry, can you send us more details? That's not building trust. So how do you feel? I think we've all got the idea.
I don't swear, so I'm not going to answer.
It's not good, yeah? You're not going to use them again given a choice. So that's what we've got to think about with our brands. What's the service we're delivering to our customers? Has everyone heard of the Harvard Business Review? Yeah? So Harvard do research into all sorts of stuff, all sorts of business stuff. And a couple of years ago, they did some research into customer expectations and customer experience. They went out and they actually studied 75,000, just think about that for a minute, 75,000 customer interactions and experiences to try and understand what we as consumers feel like when we engage with a service or buy a product. I want to tell you something. Come in. People don't trust us. 84% of the people they surveyed don't believe that as businesses, we'll deliver on the promises that we make. So how many of you have got a website that says, we aim to exceed customer expectations? Hopefully none of you. Because customers, 84% of customers don't think we're going to deliver on the promises that we make. As soon as we say we're going to exceed them, what have we just done to that customer? They're now expecting us to be up here, so we've got to be there. Then we've got to be here. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. What do customers want from us? The number one thing that study found, the number one thing that we can do to build customer loyalty, to increase customer trust, the number one thing we can do is make life easier for our customers. That's not rocket science, is it? I've got to tell you how we can do that. So, you know these two guys now. I'm not sure about the guy on my right, but the dude on the left is the brand man. And Call, as you know, will help us to develop a brand for our business. And hopefully, as you guys all realize now, brand is about much more than a logo and how something looks. It's about the business in its entirety. And then, of course, with content marketing, we bring that to life. We build trust and all the good stuff we've heard over nearly 2 days now. But the problem, as Chris touched on earlier, is that when customers then come and engage with us, if they don't get a consistently good service that meets their expectations, because bear in mind, they don't think we're going to do that anyway, they might not do business with us again. They might just leave. And we know that through that research, customers are 4 times more likely to move to a competitor as a result of poor service than because of problems with product or price. 4 times more likely to move. So you need me. You need the service design superhero. Laura promised you some superpowers today. I'm going to share some superpowers with you. I want you guys to become service designers. And I want you guys to learn and think about customer experience and how we can use these principles within our business to deliver services to our customers that they'll want to engage with time and time again. And service design is a new concept, but it's actually grounded in good old common sense stuff. It's dealing with people the way we'd like to be treated ourselves. And the language we use a lot of the time is customer experience, but it's actually grounded for me in the principles of service design. How many of you in here are designers out of interest? Shove your hand up if you're a designer. 2. 3. By the time we leave today, you're all going to be designers. You're all going to be service designers. You're all going to start to think like a designer. I want to share with you 4 principles of service design. And that's actually how we look at a service and how a service is constructed. And when I talk about service, I'm thinking about anything. I'm thinking about the service of a hair salon or an architect. Or it's a golf lesson, the service of going to a doctor, the service of a school or a nursery, or the service, Chris, of a conference. Every service has these 4 steps. Let's go through them. So, step number 1 is before. And here we're thinking about what happens before a customer engages with us. And that's not just about content marketing, although that's a big part of it. So we start to make those promises and build that trust. But in here, we're also thinking about what does the customer think about our industry? What are the industry norms? What's in their head when they come to do business with us? So when I go to the dentist, or when people go to the dentist, what is it that the population generally thinks about a dentist? We're scared of the dentist. So as a dentist, what can you do to... yeah. So as a dentist, what you can do is understand that we're all a bit nervous about going to the dentist and design that experience to be better, to be friendlier, to be warmer, to be more welcoming. Ask your customers what they want, what would make them feel better about going to the dentist. And I'll share a story with you later. Grab me at the coffee break. So people bring emotional baggage with them when they come and interact with our service. And just think about that and understand it. Imagine what that emotional baggage is for your industry and do something about addressing it. Second thing is beginning. We don't get a second chance to make a first impression. And the way that someone starts their relationship with your business will determine the longevity and profitability of that relationship. If it starts off, just think about it yourself. We'll pick on the EE again. You have a bad start with a service provider like that. It's not going to be good. You're tied in for a contract. At the end of 2 years, you're off. You're just not going to hang around. So make sure with that, if you have an onboarding process, if your business is that kind of business, make it easy, make it slick. Make it really easy for people to do business with you. Then we get into the guts of the service, what we call the dueling stage. There's 2 phases to this I want you to think about. The first is what we call the planned event. So that's what's everyone expecting to happen. And just make sure that it does and it's smooth. Remember, people want things to be easier. So how can you make it easy for them? The second and more important thing, I think, are what we call the unplanned events. So what do we do when stuff goes wrong? Because I guess every single one of us in this room have people delivering services within our business. People are involved. They're either coding software or we're doing stuff. So people are there. And we all have bad days. We've all had shit going on in our lives sometimes. And we don't know as the customer that that's perhaps happened. But it means that things can go wrong. And I think it's just a case of accepting stuff will go wrong. From a design point of view, what I want you to think about is what do we do when that happens? How do we deal with it? You can't sit and think about every single situation, but just have a plan for what you'll do and how you'll react to it. The other thing to think about is what happens when your customers' details change. So if they move house, if they change their mobile phone number, if they change their email address. These are relatively easy things to change. You can deal with them. Just have a system, have a process to address that. Update your databases. The hard bit is what happens when someone dies and they're a customer of yours. And I've certainly had experience of stuff being sent out to a relative who's died. That's not good. So don't do stuff like that. Just make sure you've got a process to deal with that. The final stage is the after stage. And that can be about how you invoice your client, how they pay you. Make it as easy and smooth and seamless as possible. Remember, make it easy for your customers. And also, if they never come back to deal with you again, if you still make that exit for them a positive one, then they might tell people. They might refer business to you. They might go somewhere else, try it, and find out, do you know what? The grass isn't greener on the other side. Make it easy for them to come back. Don't make them feel bad about leaving. Now, the most important thing, I think, actually, is this. Design is about shoes. Okay? It's about learning to stand in your customer's shoes, so I'm being slightly facetious. It's about learning to stand in your customer's shoes and seeing things from their perspective. Just imagine if DPD did that, or Yodel. Their businesses would be completely different. They'd be transformed. Because actually, at the end of the day, design is really about people. And the people with most insight into how we do what we do are often not the people sitting around the management table. So if you're going to take anything away today, what I want you to take away is involve your people. Involve your customers in that dialogue. Understand how they feel. Ask them. Like, most people don't do this. But what I find when I do this with my clients and in my business is people want to tell me stuff. People love to be asked. They love to feel valued. So, what can you do to put your brand up there in lights? Have a think about brands that do this well. What brands come into your minds when I talk to you about this kind of stuff? Who does this well? We've talked about some that do badly. Who does it well? Say that again, please. Buffer. Really good brand. And they do stuff. They do incredibly well. They manage that really well. Rafa, great one. I thought that's what someone said. I knew Owen was there. Rafa's a cycling brand. Owen and I are big bike guys. And Rafa do this incredibly well, don't they? You fall off your bike, rip your shorts, send them back. They give you a new pair. These are 160 quid a time. People fall off their bikes just to get new shorts. Break their hips just to get a new pair of shorts. That's really cool. I've not had that experience, sadly. That is really cool. You're already so slim. I'll send you that 5 quid I said later. Okay, so we know some brands. There's some stuff that we can do. So my challenge, I guess my gift to you is you all now have a superpower that you can leave here with. You've now got the power of service design. You can start to think about things as a designer. Think about the detail. Think about tiny little stuff that you can do that will make your customers' lives easier. And then start to do it consistently, time and time and time and time again. And you will build what are already good businesses into great businesses. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Thank you.